Hello-de doody do that, and welcome to episode 4 of the Unorthocast. Today, I sat down with the bearded teacher to talk about custom models and custom assets in Minecraft. This did end up being a slightly shorter podcast than usual. I think that's due to the fact that I talk quite fast. Use your ears to listen and get comfy. Enjoy!
So we have Jump Up Bong in the building. I mean, we're outside the building right now, but
Hello-de doody do there! Jump Up Bong is touching grass. I know, right?
Yeah. So today's focus on the Unorthocast is custom models, and we were trying to get the custom model man Draken here, but Draken was unavailable for this recording, so we got Jam.
You got the second best. You got the backup. Yeah, I know how it is, Teach.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Jam.
It's great to be here.
If you don't know, and you have been living under a rock, this is the custom model man. He's famous for his custom models, and today we are gonna really try to talk about what custom models are and how it's gonna be changing the game and a bit like that. It's gonna be fun. But Jam, can you tell me, first question of the day, can you tell me why is the block upside down?
Well, you see, I would say it's very much jumping to conclusions to state that the block is upside down and not simply that everything other than the block is upside down. You know, I'm willing to believe the UnorthoBlock is fully correct in its orientation, and we and everything else around us are upside down. The UnorthoBlock is perfect, and we're just... yeah, we're not. That was a deep answer, wasn't it?
It was. I like that answer.
Thank you.
So, next question I have, so we can get like a definition of stuff. What exactly are custom models in Minecraft, and how do they enhance the game experience?
Okay, so basically, custom models is an option for inside of Minecraft resource packs, where instead of just changing the texture of an item, you can change the shape and model, you can do a lot with it. And now, that's been a thing for quite a while, but in 1.14, the Village and Pillage update, they added the ability to add a thing called custom model data to your items, so that if a Minecraft item in-game meets a certain MBT data requirement, it can turn into a custom thing. So you could have a carved pumpkin that looks like a goose next to a normal-looking carved pumpkin. So that allowed people to basically just be able to change the look of a specific item inside the game. And on our server, we use that. As you can see, if you look around, we've got a lot of things like this guitar, which is a crossbow. And if someone else picked up a crossbow, it wouldn't be a guitar unless they wanted it to be. Hey, let me know if anyone wants a guitar. And this microphone that we are talking into, and I think Teach is a custom model. I don't think he's real. Oh yeah, and the car going past. So yeah, it's a very fun thing that I'm very much a fan of adding onto the server. It adds a little bit of extra life, a little bit more customization. It's very nice.
No, I like that. How did you begin working with custom models?
So, along with a lot of people, I'd first heard about it when they added it to Hermitcraft in Season 8. That's when a lot of servers were like, hey, we should do this too! And that was when I also got into custom models. It took me about a year, but I think around the end of 2022 was when I was really like, hey, I want to learn to do this. My first ever custom model was, I think it was a goose. The goose, which is still on UnorthoBlocks today. This was before I joined UnorthoBlocks even. And the rest is history. Now I've made quite a lot, especially here on the UnorthoBlocks server.
And especially here, we are really in your base right now. And it's just full of custom models.
Nothing is real, really. Teach.
I told before we started to record, I actually have one of Jam's custom models on my face.
Ah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your beard.
My beard.
Looking very good.
Ah, thank you. And this penguin is really trying to fly.
The penguin is the real star of the podcast.
So, do you need have tools or software to be able to do this?
I do have tools and software to be able to do this. So, I use a free program called Blockbench, which is a voxel, pixel-based 3D engine, but it is very much largely used for Minecraft in resource packs and mods and stuff, and it's very good. It's very accessible, makes it very easy to very quickly make a custom item that can work inside of Minecraft and put it in. Of course, there's extra layer of like making the resource pack function, but in terms of actually making the assets like the car and the crow, it's a brilliant program for all things pixel art, all things Minecraft. Very good. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the hardest thing with this, with like the custom models?
The hardest thing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give quite an expected answer and say that the hardest thing is when it doesn't work or when things break. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? It's a challenge, and one I'm willing to take on, so I don't mind.
All right. Can you walk us through the typical process of designing, firstly, and implementing a custom model in Minecraft?
Okay. I can. So first it will start with deciding on what the custom model is. Usually there's some random joke on the UnorthoBlocks server that turns into a custom model fairly quickly. And then the next stage is, of course, making the actual model without even thinking about putting it in the game yet. We'll just open Blockbench and I'll start playing around with the shapes and the textures, positioning it, you know, working out how it will look if I wear it on my head, how it will look if I hold it, how it will look if I put it in an item frame. Not to ruin the magic, but this crow, he couldn't fly away. He's stuck in a frame. Sorry. And then it will simply be the process of adding the custom model into the game, which is usually the most tedious part. But when you've already got a good enough resource pack going, you sort of got this built-in format that you can very easily fall into. Because it's like, if it's another carved pumpkin, like the last one I added, there's just one big JSON file, which is a load of text, which I'll just put the next one into. So I'll add that into the resource pack. We have a resource pack on UnorthoBlocks, a server-side one. Some people use it client-side, but it is server-side, and that's how we get our custom models. And every time I feel like there's enough new stuff added, or there's like a certain event on the server that requires a specific custom model, we will update the pack server-side, so that when people log in next, they will get a prompt telling them to download the new pack, and they can download the new pack. Some people use it client-side, and then they'll just grab that one manually, whatever works. And yeah, that's a process, and then we have lots of fun in game using it, or it will be forgotten forever, like the bullfoot. We don't talk about the bullfoot. Yeah.
How many custom models do we have in the resource pack right now?
Let me check. Chat, you are not prepared for this answer. Okay, I'm going to check. Just going to go into the models folder in our resource pack and do a Control A. Oh my goodness, I can't count that far. I think I can. 935.
Oh, that's a lot.
I know, right? We're going to have considerably less in our next season, I think. I think that'll be nice. We're finding that balance, you know.
Yeah. Our resource pack, I think we get like an update every 2 weeks-ish.
Yeah. We used to have an every 2 week schedule, but nowadays I think it's a lot easier to just update it whenever we feel like it's needed. But it usually does end up being like once a month or every 2 weeks. Usually. Yeah.
So, what are the challenges you face during the design?
So, I feel like a big challenge is trying to make it fit in with the world of Minecraft. Blockbench itself is very good at that, you know. All its templates fit Minecraft. It's like 16 by 16 pixels or 32 by 32, etc. But you really want something that isn't too jarring. I say that as the car drives past.
It's like every time.
Yeah, but the thing that aren't a car, like...
I think it's very sus. Car,
yeah, barring the car, for things like the guitar, that rhymes, and the crow, usually I will try and fit them around the same pixels as the vanilla Minecraft blocks they'll be positioned on. Just so it looks a bit more natural while still keeping that fun element. Definitely a balance.
So when you integrate all of this, what is your like thought process for that?
Do you mean like what makes me decide on the custom model to add?
Yeah.
Well, on UnorthoBlocks, a lot happens sometimes. Sometimes it can get very chaotic, very fun, very silly, and a lot of the time it will be something as simple as we're hanging out on the server, someone makes a joke, we all find it funny, and it's a custom modelling game eventually. A lot of the time it will be build enhancements, like I will get people asking for like a pickaxe or a tool set or an elytra that matches their skin or their season's theme, things like that.
How do you... I mean, you have already basically answered this question. How do you ensure that your custom model blends well with Minecraft and the default aesthetics? And how do you answer maybe more like a philosophical question? How do you answer those who says Minecraft, that custom model is not intended into the game? It's basically like a mod.
Well, they're definitely intended because they're hard-coded into the game as a thing you can do. I mean, I do get the debate, though. There's always been that whole stance of, like, what counts as vanilla, what counts as modded. I feel like very much a preference. Though custom models are a thing built into vanilla that you don't need to install any mods for or anything. So they're nice in that way. I see a question from Chandler. Chandler said, if you had to choose just one, what is your favourite custom model?
My beard.
Of course. For my answer for that, genuinely, you all heard that abnormally large number earlier. That is quite hard, but there's a reason I brought a guitar here. The guitar is genuinely one of my favourite custom models, even though it's so simple. I don't know what it is about it. It's just very pleasing to hold. It looks cool, and if you've got arrows in your inventory, since it's a crossbow, when you pull it back, it will actually look like you're playing the guitar. So yeah, it's just a really simple custom model that I really enjoy using. There's my answer. Now I'll try and sit back down.
Do you agree that custom models have a great impact on Minecraft? So I want to explore that a little bit. What impact do you think custom models have or had on the Minecraft community?
Well, firstly, I think as time goes along, they're definitely going to have more of an impact as maybe more stuff is added to the game, the system is tweaked, just as the features polished more and reshaped and more stuff added, it's definitely going to grow in terms of what you can do with it. I just feel like when it comes to things like, especially servers, where content is one of the priorities, people just want to have fun and they want to add these extra elements that may aid with storytelling or visual things, just anything you may need a custom model for. So there are definitely a lot of situations where it can really enhance a game, like especially minigame servers. For the longest time, they have used custom models and resource packs and data packs to enhance the experience. Like if you go on a server like MCC Island, it's absolutely riddled with custom models everywhere, because it's just such a good way to add your own touch to the game in vanilla. I definitely think it will continue to have a good impact on stuff. So yeah, there's my rather long answer there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that answer. I actually agree with you. I think before I saw custom models really implementing in the game on UnorthoBlocks, I was like skeptical. It's something like a novelty. You get that guitar, for example, and then you forget about that guitar after the recording is done, basically. But I believe that custom models, if you use them right, it's just something that makes your experience of the game so much better and so much realer. I think everything that gets more people into this block game is a good thing.
Yeah,
because it is the best game in the world, and if you can get newer people in it to play it, it will mean that the game will survive also.
Yeah, I agree. It's great in that way because it's just adding another way to play Minecraft. Minecraft's a brilliant game because there's so many ways to play it. There's the building, the redstone, PvP, the exploring. I could go on and on, of course. And then custom models is just something for people who like working with 3D and pixel art and stuff like that. So it's yet another great layer to the game that people can find themselves really enjoying, like me, and I like it for that.
Yeah. Can you share some examples of project or mods that utilize custom models to great effect? I mean, every episode of yours.
Yeah.
But
UnorthoBlocks. Look around. And especially in my builds around here, it is really nice to enhance them. You know, it's a cherry on top. I always feel like when custom models are being utilised in places like this, the build should always come first, but then adding the custom models is like the dessert, right? The extra thing you can plonk on the end if you feel it's necessary, which is what I've done here.
Yeah. What, like, if we go a little bit like to the future, what do you think are the most exciting possibilities with custom models for the future of the using of custom models?
I kind of touched on this earlier when I said that the technology behind these is just going to improve as the game updates, but also I feel like as things like Blockbench become more well known, and maybe that updates as well, there's going to be more ways to make this accessible to any players who may not know how to structure resource packs, or just maybe don't want to dive into that whole world, which is completely fair. It's definitely going to continue to grow more as a thing in the Minecraft community, I think, because, you know, you've got other main things that are very recognised, like building and redstone, but this is just as much a niche, in my opinion, and there's definitely going to be some cool stuff done with it in the future, I do think.
Do you think that guitar in the future will also have like some kind of use so you can play on it, for example?
Well, I guess if Mojang had the ability to apply custom MBT sounds to the pulling back of a crossbow without affecting all the others and simultaneously turn it into a guitar, yeah, I guess that could be possible. Could make guitar noises.
I challenge you, Mojang.
Mojang, add guitars!
Yeah, add guitar. That's the next. Do you think Mojang, if we're talking about Mojang, do you think they will add these custom models? Like, you know, with redstones, they hire redstone people to make more redstone attractions and so on. Do you think there will be a time where Mojang adds custom model makers to their roster? Or do they already?
I wouldn't be surprised, because the kind of texture artists they do have will also be the same kind of people who would enjoy making an item on Blockbench. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think Mojang may possibly even use Blockbench to make their textures in the game, because it's just that good of a tool. I may be wrong, but I feel like I did hear somewhere that at least some of them do actually use Blockbench, and I do know it is officially recognised by Minecraft itself and Mojang, which is really great, because it fully deserves that completely. So that's good.
Yeah. What model in the base game do you hate?
I've got to say, in terms of which one's the most annoying to work with, I don't like that tridents can't be remodeled in vanilla, because they're entities, because they have to be thrown. There's a lot of cool stuff we'd be able to do with that, but alas, we cannot. In terms of just something I don't like, in terms of like how it looks maybe, that's a hard one, honestly.
Carved pumpkins?
Oh. Yeah, I don't like those because they're boring, because they could be anything else, like a crow, couldn't they? Yeah, maybe we'll go with that, sure.
So, Jam, let's say that Chandler88, you know the guy.
Oh,
everyone. No. Yeah, we need to do that. Chandler88, he wants into this custom model business, you know. What advice would you give to someone like Chandler88 who wants to start creating custom models in Minecraft?
Okay, so I have 3 pieces of advice. Firstly, just simply watch tutorials, look up stuff, do all the Googling, do all the research. Really is helpful. There's a lot of very helpful videos on YouTube and stuff of just how to get started with custom models and resource packs. I'd also recommend just downloading Blockbench. Blockbench gets shouted out a lot in this, but just download that, have a play around, you know, make some shapes, see what colouring them in does, just really get acquainted with that. And thirdly, what really helps me is download existing resource packs and open them up, basically. Just dissect them, you know? Like, if there's something you're really struggling with to integrate into a resource pack, or just with custom models, like, find an existing resource pack on CurseForge or something that does that. Just dissect it and just see how they manage to make that work in their own, and just translate that to what you're doing.
Yeah. Are there any resources, like specifically, do you want to shout out anything except of Blockbench?
Blockbench. I guess also Visual Studio Code, which I use for adding the resource packs, adding the custom models into the resource packs with the JSONs for the carved pumpkins and all the custom model data and stuff. Just a good interface, and there's a few plugins that allow it to work around Minecraft and like highlight what's necessary for Minecraft and stuff like that, and it's very useful. So I guess I'll shout out that, if not Blockbench, because Blockbench has definitely got mentioned a couple of times in this podcast already.
It has.
Yes.
So, Chandler88, he makes a lot of mistakes.
He does.
What would you say to him what is the most common mistakes that he should avoid?
Capital letters in resource packs and custom models. Don't name your custom model with capital letters. Don't include any capital letters inside the code for your custom model. It will break it. It will not work. And also, make sure that all the textures for your custom models and custom items and whatever are scaled to the power of 2, so that's 16 by 16 or 32 by 32 or 64 by 64 or etc etc. Otherwise it will break the mipmap, which is how Minecraft renders things which are far away and gives a scalar distance, and it will make everything in the background all grainy and flickery, and we don't want that. So here's your PSA: don't break the mipmap, kids. There we go. Whew, and breathe.
Oh yeah, that's a good advice, actually, Jam. I don't have that much more. By the way, everyone, this is Jampot Pong, and you in the link below, go and follow him, subscribe to his channel, to his Twitch, to his
I have a Twitch,
Instagram.
I have an Instagram.
X, Twitter.
He's shouting out socials I don't have.
So yeah, he Draken wants 79 by 23 pixels. Oof. No
way he just said that in this day and age on this podcast. Yeah. Oh, Draken.
Well, Jam, thank you for coming to this Unorthocast podcast.
It was my pleasure. No problem at all, Teach. This was a good chat. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I mean, I came to your place, by the way. It should be you who thanked me for coming.
Thank you, Teach, for coming on your podcast. Thank you for showing up to your own podcast. It's appreciated.
Yeah.